Greetings, stars. It is your girl Jaha Knight, and I am back doing something amazing. Today, we are doing a stained glass flower. What did I say? Yes, I said a stained glass flower. So, the Black Girl Bloom coloring book was something that I talked with the community about, the other stars, and asked them what they thought. And as I was drawing it, we were enjoying it. We were able to do a few different projects that were a lot of fun, and stained glass was one of them. So I bought some glass. It wasn't actually glass though, it was more like it was something I got from Michael's. I can't even remember what it's called, but I purchased that like months ahead of time. I didn't even know this is what I was going to end up using it for. And then I purchased the supplies in order to do the stained glass. They just sat around for months. I had no idea what project I was going to use it on. So when I decided that I wanted to do it on this project, it was something that we did in the Starlight Creatives. So we started working on it and creating the way that this was going to look. I am using the leading of the stained glass. This is where, you are going to put your color inside of. So these are completed shapes. They're open and closed shapes. Because I didn't want to leave any open shapes because that's just not how the medium works. So I took this black leading and I put it all over. You see me showing it to you now. That's the leading. And then I have a few other tools that I'm going to be using throughout this as well. In this video, we are going to go over how I shaped everything. And then we'll do the second video where I will talk with you about how I was able to get all the color into the image and make it look good. And I hope that you stay along for both processes. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you watch as I, follow the lines. Now, one thing I did do, because I did say I was going to tell you what I did, right? And then I was like, go watch on your own, leave me alone. But one thing I did do was I took a printout of the art that I wanted to use. I placed it under the glass and then I put the glass on top. It's a tutorial, right? You want to know the details, so why not give them to you, right? So I put the glass on top and then I started this process. I've never done this before, so it's not like you're over here like, girl, how many times have you done this? First time, okay? First time. And it was super simple because there is a tip on it. It's easy for you to like drag along the spaces. Of course, you're squeezing the whole time, so you want to make sure that you're doing that in an adequate amount. You don't want to have too much down. You want to kind of keep everything a little bit similar as far as the width of the line. But I guess for me, it kind of makes sense because when I'm drawing all the time, I always have to think about the lines because you all are coloring in the lines. So that is a big thing for me. Like, okay, make sure these lines don't look super crazy because people are going to be coloring them. You want to make sure they're not super thick, but you also want to make sure they're good to go. I had to clean up a little bit of stuff here with the leading. As you can see, it didn't go down the way I wanted it to. So I simply took a napkin and I wiped it off so that, I could reapply it. Because again, I like when lines are consistent. I have a consistency about the lines kind of thing. So whenever you get one of my coloring books, you'll notice like if I do an outline, not intentionally make that outline black, the lines inside are not going to be super dark or super thick. So line width and thickness is really important to me. So if it ain't coming out right, boo, I'm going to do it over. That's what we going to do over here. Okay. Now, did my nails get messed up and all gluey with black glue or black leading? Yes. Now, I have heard that people are able to do this same effect. I haven't tried it, so I'm just going to lead with that caveat. I haven't tried it, but I have heard that people are able to do this same effect with paint inside of glue. So you basically make black glue out of your paint and you should be able to use this in the same manner. Have I done it? No. Can I recommend it? No. Can I give you the information? Absolutely. And if you want to go out and try it, feel free. Will I be doing it? No. And the only reason I'm not doing it is because a lot of times when I'm making art, I'm making it to sell to somebody. I don't want somebody coming back to me months or years later like, girl, you see this? Clearly this was not meant for this, and you used something that wasn't it. I don't want that kind of effect. Now, if I was just playing around and I wanted to see how long it would take, and I'm doing that based off of that, then yeah, I would not have a problem with using the black glue effect. If it's a personal project, same, because I am going to be able to recreate that personal project 9 times out of 10. So I did use a few things to help clean up mess. I used toothpicks. I use, what are those things called? The things that you stick in your ear. I use those. You know what I'm saying. I may not remember the words exactly, but you know what I'm saying. But I use those, and that was pretty simple. Now, here are a couple things that I learned when I was doing the research on this. You can create the art for this and then peel it off to make it into something that is a cling. Now, the way I did it, it's not that. Like, that's not what I did. But there is another way to use this medium to make something that can stick on a window and is not something that you're putting on glass. Like, I'm putting this on glass for the back of it to be glass. I want it to be see-through. I don't want you to be able to take it off and cling it to anything. That's not why I'm doing it this way. So there's another way you can do it, and that's not what I'm doing. So like if I were to do what I'm going to show you in a short minute on how I made my lines to go around the framing of the image, that's the way you're going to use the same medium, which is gallery glass. That's what I'm using. That's how you're going to use that same medium in order to create a clingable instead of an actual piece that is going to go on the glass and not cling to a glass that you're putting somewhere. So when you see me start creating the lines that are going to go around, that's when you're going to be like, oh, that's what she meant. Yes, that's how you would use the same medium in order to create something that is removable from the medium and put onto another surface. So as you can see, I dried this because it needed to be dried before I started working on my lines that are going to go around the piece. And you'll see me place that several times. Fortunately, you are able to lift and put down and lift and put down when you are placing the lines in the way that I made them. Now, the reason I made the lines this way, because you can purchase lead lines, is because my lead lines had not come in yet. I don't know what was taking them so long, but it took weeks for those lead lines to come in. So I just said, I don't have time for that. So you see me with my sheet protector. I'm about to go and get a piece of paper, because your girl can't draw a straight line, even though I love a good arting. I can't draw a straight line. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm going to be honest. So I'm sticking this sheet of paper in there. Why? Because this is something that I'm going to use to draw my straight lines. And I'm showing you what the dried art looks like with just the lead lines. And so now what we're going to do is take that same leading and we're going to make some straight lines. Now, again, if you were to take that same piece of art and stick it inside of this sleeve, this sheet protector, and then you were to do this tracing on the sheet protector, you don't want lead lines, you don't want it on glass, you just want the art itself. And if you are doing that this way, you are clearly able to then take that art that you made that is just the art itself, and you're able to use that and put it on any windowed surface. So if you want to put it on the windows in your house, you want to stick it on your car window, you really can. It is doable, and it's like a cling instead of it being a piece of art that you're making for glass. So there's a difference with how you can use both of these, this substrate in two different ways. One way is to put it on glass, obviously. The other way is to put it on a plastic like this and then take that off and put it on different glassed surfaces. So you have some options here when you are using gallery glass or a product that's very similar, because I know I just purchased some products for my glass art that are not gallery glass. So we will see how they measure and compare with each other. And I'll be definitely coming back to tell you all about it soon for part two, because part two, we are going to actually color in the art, and you're going to be able to then say, you know, I really love this. This was fun. Or maybe not for me, but I thought it was dope.